So yeah.
Welcome to the most fabulous Box Goss episode. Yes, people, we are talking about the Monaco Grand Prix.
Woo!
I mean, when I say like the most fabulous, it is the most fabulous show for us, but like it's more like a procession for F1. But it's okay, we move. We are excited. What I say?
I was saying next year we should actually come on in our sleepwear.
Yo, next year we should. But this one was actually a little bit interesting. I'm not gonna lie. It rained, so it was like great. But we'll get into all of that. We have a very exciting show coming up for you today. It's going to be wonderful and amazing, and we are very, very, very much looking forward to it. But to start us off, let's just talk about the news really, really, really quickly. Monaco was not the only motorsporting event that happened during the weekend. Actually, during that Sunday, it was also the Indy 500 in the United States. And we want to congratulate Marcus Ericsson for winning.
Woo! Back, you in particular.
He has had a difficult time in Formula One, so it's glad to see like another former Formula One star like find his feet. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, you either become a successful driver in Le Mans or Indy, or you go to Formula E. So
there you go.
You know.
Yeah,
there you go. Anyway, also another thing, which I guess is actually going to lead very well into our show, is the Monaco Grand Prix just itself. There is news that it might not make it back for the 2023 calendar because F1's coming to go and negotiate with them, and they don't want to let go of some of their special rights that they have because, you know, it's Monaco, and they've been on the calendar literally before even F1 was F1.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think Monaco's going to have to give a little bit. I mean, and we're probably going to get into it because I would love to hear your thoughts about whether or not. Actually, I have a special question for our final thoughts. So just something around that. So bear with me. But yeah, no, I think I think Monaco has things that they need to give. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anything else for news?
I mean...
Oh, Perez signed a contract until 2024.
Yes, that's just big news. Right before we started recording, that literally just made news. Honestly, yes.
Good. Yeah,
yes.
Good.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Like, we love that for him. We love that for him. He's in a competitive team with a competitive car. He could actually potentially win a driver's championship. I'm thrilled. I mean, and he's already now the most successful Mexican F1 driver ever. So like, it's just amazing for him. And you know what? He's getting his flowers and also enjoying himself plenty, as we retweeted on our Twitter of him getting off a particular yacht.
Guy looked like he had a good time. And
let the guy celebrate.
Yes.
Let him celebrate.
After that performance, I think he deserved it.
He really did. I think he did amazing. Well, before we get into the Monaco Grand Prix, we have a very special interview, which Asay is going to take us through. It's with a really amazing, just this inspirational guy that just completed an incredible ride from London to Lagos. So I'm going to take it away and give it to Asay.
All right. Hello, everybody. We are so honored to be joined today by Kunle Adenaju. Kunle has been traveling for the past 41 days from London all the way to Lagos. He did the entire trip by bike. And we are so so very fortunate to have him on our stream today and to have him talk about all his trials and tribulations while on the road. So Kunle, welcome to our show. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for being here. So my first question to you today is why travel? So what gave you the idea to ride from London to Lagos?
Well, for me, it's one of those things I call before I die thing. It's one of my bucket lists. One of those things I've mapped out for myself I want to do. I'm a kind of guy that like all this adventure, all these physical things. I like all these outdoor things. That's my DNA. That's how I'm wired. So I had a couple of things which I've lined up for myself I want to do. Some of those things I've done before were like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro twice. Biking, that's cycling this time around, cycling from Lagos to Ghana and back. I've done bungee jumping, I've done skydiving, I've jumped out of aircraft, so I like all those hard things. So riding from a motorbike from London to Lagos is one of those things that I've lined out for myself, one of those before I die thing, like I said. The interesting part, however, of this is like, I'm using this to address a noble cause, to try to make the world a little bit better, to try to draw more attention to the issue of polio and also raise funds to help eradicate polio in Africa.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Thank you.
No, that's an incredible cause. And also, that's also just amazing, bungee jumping and riding from Ghana to Nigeria and back. Wow. Preparing for the trip, did you do anything special to get into the mood and getting into the traveling mood and everything?
Well, you see, living healthy living has been a way of life for me. I run 10K every morning. That's 10 kilos every morning before going to work. I wake up 5 a.m. I spend the first 2 hours to just, take care of my body, clear my mind, set your mind right. So, and I do that by running 10 kilometers, doing a 10 kilometers run. So once I do my 10 kilometers run, I do that in an hour. I spend the next 1 hour, to, calm yourself down, to clear your mind, to do a little bit of yoga, then before going to work. So it's been a daily routine for me. It's a way of life. So the fitness, the endurance part of it has been part of my system. So when I was going to go for this ride, yes, it's going to take a lot of me, but my body was prepared, because it's something my body has been I've been trained rather to go through all through these years. So it was okay for me to just, hop on my back to say, yes, I'm going to start. So I didn't really have any special thing because I was already prepared by the kind of way I live.
Oh, wow. Very nice. Very, very nice. So you are.
Thank you.
You could almost be an F1 driver with the way you get yourself.
It's something I really like,
Yes. So like traveling from one different continent to another, how did that feel?
Well, traveling from one continent to another, it's a host of experience. It's I've done it severally, but I've not done it by bike. I've not done it on a motorbike. You fly from airplane from one place to the other. But going on a motorbike now is a whole different experience on its own. And crossing one country to the other, it's challenging in the sense that you need to go through the border checks. If you're flying from an aircraft, you just do border checks, maybe 1 or 2, from where you're taking off from to the country you're going through. But through motorbikes, if you're going to cross 13 countries, you have to go through 13 border checks. So that is the challenges there. Well, aside from that, it's okay, it's fun. If you have all the required papers in place, then it's okay to do it. It's fun.
Nice. Oh, that makes sense. Like in that travel, what are some of your favorite moments? Like just during the bike ride, like just biking. Yeah.
Okay, you see, like I think the high moment for me on this ride was the discovery of the true African story. And I say this because this tends to outshoot every other thing that I've expected or I've experienced on the ride. And what do I mean by the true African story? You see, before going on this ride, I read a lot of reports, fact book, and a lot of intelligence report also about these different countries that I'll be going through, just what to know, what to do, what not to do, what to expect. And I tell you, all those things, all the things I read about Africa, all those countries, were either their amber or their red zone. It's either amber or red zone. That's all I read. Like where you need to exercise extreme caution or where you shouldn't even go at all. Those are all the things I read. But when I did my trip, I did 12,000 kilometers, right? Out of these 12,000 kilometers, 3,100 kilometers was done in Europe. That's from London to Algeciras, the boundary of Europe. The other about 9,000 kilometers were done on the African soil. That's from North Africa down into West Africa, Nigeria. And I discovered that this 9,000 kilometers that I did in Africa took me through not just the city, but through the towns, the villages, the isolated places, the lonely places. And I discovered everywhere I met these people are nice. They are not as bad as portrayed in the media. People are hospitable, they are friendly, they are kind, and people are warm. And I was thrilled by the diversity of the African continent. So for me, the story of the African people, the discovery of the true African story was the biggest moment for me on this trip. And because it was a sharp contrast, a total sharp contrast from what I read about all these places. Oftentimes you read about those places as red zone, don't go there, these people are this, they are that. But it's not true. The people are nice. The people are friendly, they are hospitable. So for me, the high moment of this is the discovery of the true African story.
Lovely. And in all of this, were there any hardships that you went through the journey or?
Yeah, there were a lot of hardships every day. The way it's life, you can't do 12,000 kilometers and not have hardship every day. It's got to be there. Coming in from Europe, if the sub-zero temperature don't give you a hard time, which will give you a hard time because even with your gloves, with your warm clothing, you still feel the chill in the air. Then, the wind also, very strong crosswind and headwinds cause a lot of, discomfort while you're riding. You go into you get into Africa, the heat of the Sahara is killing. If the heat don't make life difficult for you, the sand will make life terrible. If the sand doesn't, the strong wind of the Sahara will. So you see, there were so many difficulties and challenges all along the way. But it's just that they're dynamic, it's not static, it's changing with the location. And even within the Sahara, you find that like on the Moroccan side of the Sahara, I need to check the temperature of the tarmac. So I need to understand, know the kind of speed to take because I don't want to overheat my tires. When I check the temperature on the Moroccan side, the tarmac was like 42, 44 degrees. But when you get on the Mauritanian side, the tarmac sometimes gets up to 52 degrees. So you can imagine you're 52 degrees and you're putting your tire there and you're speeding at maybe 140, 150 kilometers an hour. That's an accident waiting to happen.
It's true.
So with that, like I said, the challenges are just there. They're all there, but they come in different shapes and sizes. But I made up my mind to go for this trip. Then it's all I've expected that, okay, something like that will happen. So it's just that when it comes, be ready to take it. And that's exactly what I did.
I see. So what's next? So I understand that now. We understand now that you have finished the journey and you're already in Lagos, right?
Yes, correct.
So what's your next adventure?
Well, the next one is I've planned to ride from Lagos to Israel, then Israel to Turkey. Then from there, I'm going to the Asian continent, where I intend to go on to the Tibetan plain. Actually, my destination is Mount Everest Base Camp. Yeah, so when I get to the base camp, I'm going to put the bike somewhere, then I'll attempt to climb Mount Everest. So that's actually the next line of adventure for me.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
So are you in preparations, getting back together, or is this right now R&R time, just relaxing?
No, I think it's gonna happen in the next 2 years. It's gonna happen in the next 2 years. The idea is farmed up, is concretized now. So I'm building the plans around it. I'm a kind of guy who like planning. I like putting a lot of planning to play, thinking of everything, try to think about everything so that, you don't get surprised by much on the road. So I'm still building the plan, but I'm sure I should be able to finish everything. And within the next 2 years, I should, move on to actualize that.
Nice. So I also want to ask, I'm not sure if you're I wanted to ask, do you think we would maybe see you in rally racing or so? Would you love to do one of these days?
I actually love that. Even when I drive, in Lagos, people normally call me Formula One driver. They call me an F1 driver. They say because I drive like one. So it's actually a sport I love too. It's something I would really like to get into. Maybe, the rally race, maybe do the IndyCar. I really love stuff like that. I like all those adrenaline hard stuff. It's my DNA.
Well, Dan, we hope to see you there someday soon, and we look forward to seeing all your adventures. Thank you so much. And we got to ask one more question. First of all, who are you rooting for in Formula One?
I think I'll still take Lewis Hamilton. I like the guy.
Which one?
Lewis Hamilton.
That's it. All right. And do you have anything that you'd like to plug or you'd like to promote on our show?
Well, yes, I would like to say the course I'm actually promoting, where I did the ride, which is the End Polio, is to say people should please support this. We have the technology, we have the vaccine, we can end polio in Africa, actually in world over. So people, please support this initiative. Donate to the GoFundMe account, which is David. When you go into David Adeyanju GoFundMe, you will find it. Please support this. And all the donation goes straight to Rotary International to help end polio in Africa and indeed world over. Polio is a terrible disease, and we can end it because we have the vaccine.
Lovely. No, lovely. We are going to put this up on our Instagram and also on our Twitter and also on Twitter. So if you want more information on that, check us out there. And we'll also have you'll also see in the chat as well too. So once again, we just want to say thank you so much, Kunle. Thank you so much for coming on and
thank you.
For what has been an inspiring, incredible discussion about just a snippet of your adventures.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yes, no problem.
That was incredible. I say thank you so much for leading us through that amazing discussion. And now we're going to get into all things Monaco GP. All right, let's start with the qualifying. So that was, now usually everyone says about Monaco, because the cars are so wide and overtaking is not really a thing, the race is really won or lost from qualifying. So really that's where the real racing happens for Monaco. It kind of held true this time around, but it did make for interesting reading. So we did have on pole Charles Leclerc, and he didn't crash to get it. We are so proud of him. Sorry, I know this was a difficult race for him, but let's look at positives. He came on pole. Carlos Sainz did bin it alongside Sergio Perez.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was such a wild thing. Carlos Sainz came second, and Sergio Perez came third. And that, right before the tunnel, Sergio Perez decided that he wanted to, as Pierre Gasly would say, French kiss the wall, and do a bit of a thing. And
just a little too much tongue there.
A little too much. And then Carlos Sainz also wanted to go and maybe French kiss Sergio Perez. I don't know. And also make contact with him too. Max Verstappen did not want to kiss anyone and stopped safely behind everyone. Good for you, Max.
Charles Leclerc was on a speedy lap. Even though he got pole, he could have set an even faster lap time. I would have loved to see what he was going to get.
He really could have. He had a wonderful lap. Like, just seeing that lap. It was a good lap. Yeah.
It was painful. Anyway.
Painful for the other drivers who didn't get to set a lap. But for Charles Leclerc, it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
2 drivers made it into Q3. 2 important drivers. I don't remember what it was. Was it Vettel?
They were non-Mercedes and the non-3 big ones, like non-Mercedes.
Yeah. There was those ones that don't usually make it. I should have the list pulled up.
Sebastian Vettel, Esteban Ocon?
No, that's normal. I think it was Sebastian Vettel. I think it was Sebastian Vettel dragging up that box of a car into Q3. Just shows that tracks like Monaco, where driver skill really matters, that's where you get to see drivers such as Alonso and drivers such as Vettel really shine. Because Monaco is not for the faint of heart. And I think as much as the faster car might be a benefit on every other track, I think Monaco is really where we get to see the King Pay drivers stand out, really stand out like a thorn, you know? I think it was really interesting to see how both Latifi and Stroll, the 2 Pay drivers, didn't make it into Q2 even.
It really was. I mean, I think it was just very interesting just seeing them all up there. And it does, I think, also speaks to like experience sometimes is better than, what's it called?
Money?
Yeah, money. I mean, always. But like, yeah. And like, so seeing like, you know, many world champions, drivers championships up in the top 10 for qualifying was actually pretty impressive. So kudos to Vettel and to Alonso for doing well. Also, kudos to Norris, who is still not feeling well and happened to place 5th for pole for qualifying. You know, I think that guy is just something special. Honestly, I mean, like, I think he's something. Yeah, he just has something, and he's just willing to do really amazing. So
Alonso qualified in front of Hamilton.
I know. I didn't want to talk about that.
I mean, the rivalry still lives on. So it's like, no, Monaco. We harp on it for being boring, but then at the same time, there's also the realization of how hard that track is. You gotta stay consistent. You can't mess up. Otherwise, you will either be in the pool or French kissing the wall or somewhere. Maybe you might even destroy the Grand Casino. But at the same time, it's like, it's a very, like, no, it just to see Lando Norris get up into Q3 while being sick is very impressive.
I think it's not even about being sick, just making it into Q3 amongst drivers such as Fernando Alonso. He qualified ahead of Fernando Alonso. and it's certainly not the car. So I think that's not the engine either. I think it's impressive. Impressive. I don't rate him, but I think it's impressive.
Yeah, I think I think it was a very interesting qualifying. It was one of the more enjoyable ones, honestly, for me. So I had fun.
Gasly qualified 17th. Keep that in mind.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind. And we will head on to the actual results for the race because, woo! Look, it needs to rain a lot. It needs to rain more in Monaco. Honestly, it made for some wild times. Firstly, we didn't even get to complete the lap time. Like, we didn't even get to 77 laps. That's how many times they stopped and red flagged the race. Like, it was a lot. So, like, let's consider planning around the weather for Monaco. I know it's going to piss off a lot of people on their yachts. I don't care. But I'm there. Please, it should know. Amen. So
double standards.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I still want my money.
Great internet.
Yeah.
So the delay, right? Many people knack on the FIA for not starting immediately, but I think there's a method to their madness. I really do. I think if we had started then, the race wouldn't have been as fun as it was from when we started. I think once we did get started, and kudos to them for actually starting the race when it's fairly wet, like when the track is still wet, at least. I don't think it was raining anymore.
Yeah.
But I think that gave us really, really good racing because the track was safe enough, right? The track was safe enough for them to go, but it was also wet enough for us to have some fun. And this was probably Monaco produces memorable races. As much as people are like, oh, there's no overtaking and stuff, something always happens in Monaco because that tight and short street circuit leads to mistakes because there's not enough time to see your driver coming. There's not enough time to see their teammate coming. And you sometimes double fucking stack them.
But no, the thing is that's true. That's what happened to Mick Schumacher. He didn't see something coming. Next thing you know, cars in two. And Gunter Steiner had to give him a warning, saying, don't do that again. Like
that was funny. I think
that was crazy. Like, and you know what? Like, I agree with that. We do harp on Monaco for being, it can be a very exciting place. You just need to know where to look.
Yeah.
And have good direction. Monaco, please.
Oh my gosh. Get every track this year. What is wrong with you? Get some film majors. Get some film major students. Get someone. Yes. Anyone in that booth, please.
Anyone.
It's just been so mediocre. I didn't notice it, to be fair. I don't think it was that bad. But, like, I did miss whatever the hell was happening with the Ferrari pit stop. I was so confused. Then again, I did also miss the fact that Charles Leclerc pitted for inters, and then they brought him in for softs like 2-3 laps later.
So how many times did he pit?
He pitted 2 times. So he pit for inters, and then he pit for softs.
And was the one where he pitted for softs, because I had questions about this. The one where he pitted for soft, was that where everything got messed up and then he dropped down to 4th?
Because what happened was, here's what the strategy should have been. They started off on wet tires, right? And and a lot of runners moved on to intermediates, right? As the track was drying, just so they could be faster, right? So then Hamilton moved on to the intermediates. Perez moved on to the intermediates. Verstappen moved on to the intermediates. Leclerc stayed on the wet tires, as did Carlos Sainz. However, and then Leclerc decided, like the team decided to bring Leclerc in for intermediate tires. And then a couple of laps later, they brought Sainz in for soft tires. or medium or soft tires, one of the two. And then as Leclerc is passing right by the pit lane, they're like, Leclerc, come into the pits. We're pitting you for softs.
Oh no.
And then they say, stay out. But he was already in.
Already in.
And you just hear Leclerc going.
No, we heard.
As he should.
He should do that. In MotoGP, if you do that, the riders are gonna bend you. They will throw their helmets at you.
So
legit throw their helmets.
And we come back to the age-old tale. And we talked about this last time, which is why I'm bringing it up again. Ferrari ruins their drivers and their prospects. Their team, their strategists, they've never been good. They mess up more than other teams do. They mess up more than they should. And they have good drivers because of their driver academy. Historically, Red Bull's okay, but Ferrari produces the best young drivers, right? Charles Leclerc. That's about it.
Mick
Schumacher, yeah.
Sure. Mick Schumacher, Callum Ilott, like they produce good drivers just because they're Ferrari. They have access to the resources and the cars.
Yeah.
But their team is so bad. Like Ferrari has the budget to get the best drivers. Alonso, Sebastian Vettel, Charles Leclerc. But then they just ruin it.
Probably why Lewis says that. Oh, have I paused? I feel like I paused.
No, you're here.
But probably why Lewis has said that, like, when people ask him, "Oh, would he ever move to Ferrari?" The answer is probably going to be no, because look at what they've done to the likes of Vettel and Alonso, and now look what they're doing to Leclerc and Sainz. I mean, there's just no excuse at this point in time. Like, I don't understand why their strategy needs to be this bad.
You know, I had hope.
Well, that it's Monaco.
I don't know.
I had hope too.
I had hope. I was like, they've changed. They have Charles Leclerc. They're going to win the championship. No, they're not. No, they're not. At this point, no. it's terrible because I want Charles Leclerc to win.
I so do too. I mean, like, and I feel like it's now his time. Like, he definitely has the best car, like one of the best cars on the grid, if not the best. And like, I just feel like there's just no excuse anymore. Like, you have the engineering, you have everything down, you have the talent. What the fuck are you doing? Like, plain and simple, what are you doing? So, I mean, like, look, Ferrari on their own to their own devices. I am sorry to you if you're a part of the Tifosi. I don't know how you can withstand this much hot take, honestly, because Charlie, don't do me well.
Let's talk strategy here, because strategy is basically what made or broke the team's finishing results. Because what Red Bull did, as opposed to that, is they got on the intermediates almost immediately when it was time, and their drivers were setting faster lap times than those on the wets, and then they pitted for softs, and so they essentially did an undercut and then an overcut because they pit, and they essentially gained time on the intermediates because the wet tire difference was so much. They essentially gained a pit stop. And that was amazing.
And then, not to even withstand, did they benefit from the race being stopped? Did they make any changes? I feel like they did. They may have.
I think.
Yes, I think they all went on to a new set of soft tires. And so they had pitted for mediums, I believe. And then everyone went on a soft set of tires, except for Ferrari, who went on 10-lap-old mediums. What is wrong? What is wrong with you?
That's how they were able to bunch up so much at what's it called? At the end. Because and unfortunately for Monaco, there's not really any good place to overtake. So Verstappen could have never gotten the jump on it wasn't Verstappen. It was Verstappen could never gotten the jump on Carlos Sainz, even though he was that close. It was just like it was just a very frustrating situation. Speaking of frustrating situations, sorry, as I segue into bunching up, I want to talk about Mr. Spanish Minister of Defense almost causing World War III by bunching up everyone else at the back.
That was purposeful. That was purposeful because he bunched everyone up. Hamilton couldn't overtake him, and then he whizzed past.
And I can also see how clever it was. Like Fernando Alonso, like it bought him time, and it also ensured his position at the top. But then again, it was a real big move.
Hey, no, I don't care. If Pierre Gasly can make overtakes, so can Lewis Hamilton.
True.
I agree. I don't know why Lewis didn't overtake. He was definitely close to Alonso at that point in time. He was close.
But let's not forget it's Fernando Alonso. Like if there's anyone who knows how to close a door, it's him.
It's him. It was very annoying. And then it wasn't even just him. Sainz also complained about Latifi, who was on another level of mediocrity. Thanks. I needed that. Yeah. But he was on another level of uselessness and decided that who also impeded Sainz as well a little bit too, and wouldn't let him necessarily go past.
And so did Alex Albon.
And Alex Albon too. Also, someone made a really mean tweet about him, and I'm not gonna really share it, but like it was in regards to his family and his family's history. Please don't do that. Don't do that.
Hey, Formula One fans, if you need to go outside of Formula One to hurt someone, don't. Like
seriously, don't. It was so inappropriate, and it was cruel. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. But Albon was a bit annoying. I mean, like with his driving too. But yeah, don't make comments like that. Anyway, but
can we talk about Pierre Gasly for a second?
Okay, so Pierre Gasly started on 17.
In 17.
Where did he end up? In
11th. Where did he ended up 11th.
Perfection
indeed.
Like,
when did he gain the jump on? What? How did he do that?
It was ridiculous, right? Because they showed most of his overtakes, but like Monaco, we're all sitting here and we're like, oh, Monaco's such a tight track. There's no space to overtake and whatnot. And lap after lap, Pierre Gasly just overtakes everyone. And it is amazing. It is just amazing. Oh, no. It just goes to show that if you put Pierre Gasly in a competent car with a competent team, Red Bull, he has talent. There's a lot of Formula One drivers who have talent and are being wasted by teams with no strategies.
No, I mean, honestly, I feel like overtakes in Monaco should count for double. So it doesn't matter. Pierre Gasly is at the top of my leaderboard for overtaking. There's an overtaking something. He should be at the top.
Well, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter.
Anyway,
and he does it twice. That's incredibly hard to do, especially in Monaco. Mm-hmm. Like I saw him. He was so impressive. He impressed me proper.
He was great.
Fastest lap, Lando Norris.
Again, the guy is not bad. He did drop a place. He did end up 6th. George Russell somehow got in front of him.
Speed. By the way, I was going to say this. If Ferrari didn't pit Charles Leclerc when they did, do you know when they could have pitted him? 2 laps later when the safety car came out.
Of course.
Charles Leclerc would have won that race.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. And the man quoted as saying, "Don't worry, I'm used to going home disappointed." Charlie, it's hard. I really do.
It was sad.
At least he finished.
It's not. This one was actually not finished, and he got points, so he's still in it right there with Verstappen for the drivers' championship. But like, it was not fair. It was really not.
You know who else is in the championship, which was surprising?
Checo?
Yeah, Checo is still in the championship.
My guy, and Azerbaijan is coming up, and that's a track he won at last time. So I'm ready for him.
Okay, I'm going for, and this is very similar to last year's podium. I'm going for Checo Perez win, Sebastian Vettel podium, and for.
Sure, you want to amend your comment? I think you need to.
Checo Perez first. Checo Perez first. Oh, you thought Vettel podium was bad. Checo Perez first. Charles Leclerc second. Fernando Alonso third.
We'll get you checked out. Why Alonso third?
You gotta be brave.
It would be great, but that means Max Verstappen would not need to. Something must have happened to Max, which that's not out of the realm of possibility. And also Carlos Sainz.
I actually heard that Ferrari has contracted Valtteri Bottas to play bowling again with the whole grid.
That's why they signed him last year. Oh, yeah. That's impressive.
After he sells all the pictures of his butt out for charity, that was kind
and gives one to Lewis Hamilton.
That was so kind of him, and signs it too. Hey, if that's how for all you people who want to do forest bathing, go and look at Bottas's example.
Bottas.
It is very Bottas's emphasis on the ass example. Okay, guys.
And there goes. This show is not made for kids.
Yes, and that's why, yes, please don't demonetize us because anyway. We did say that. We did make that disclaimer. And yes, we have a beep button. Thanks.
We do have a beep. It never works because right? But you know.
We have fun with it regardless. Okay, let's do final thoughts. But for this final thoughts, I actually want everyone to think about their final thoughts around this one question. Because it's a hot topic. People have come up with it. They have had their hot takes, and I want to hear yours. Should Monaco remain on the F1 calendar? Based on what you saw this weekend, does it deserve a place? Do you want me to go first so I can start? So you can hear, so that you guys, okay, I'm going to start. I think Monaco is in trouble. This is coming from a diehard Monegasque by affiliation.
Monegasque by affiliation? Hold on. How?
Monegasque by
what association?
F1 affiliation. Association. That's what I meant. Association. That's what I meant. Monegasque by, I don't know. My Wi-Fi decides to want to talk out. I think that I love the history of Monaco. I think that is important. And I feel like keeping that on the grid makes it really important. That being said, just in terms of practicality, it is not a practical race to run. Monaco's going to need to give up some of its special rights. I think some changes will need to be made to the track.
What are those special rights? I don't get it.
So like they have like certain rights, like, you know, like the TV footage, it's not done by F1. It's done by the Monegasque television.
That's right.
Yeah. So like, it's really weird. So like just those things. And then also like, you know, Tag Heuer being the main watch sponsor when Rolex
even though Rolex is there. Yeah.
Exactly. So like, I feel like with that, you know, I feel like Monaco's going to need to give something if it wants to continue remaining on the F1 track. I think it's important to have it. I think it's a really cool race. It's just not practical. I mean, like the fact that it needed to rain to make it any sort of exciting is a little sad. And it doesn't usually rain at Monaco. So I hate to sound like just McFadden, but I don't know if it's going to make it. I don't think it's practical. Anyway, I say you go.
Okay, so I mean, I still want to do final thoughts. So first of all, Congratulations to Hannah Schmidt, the head of strategy at Red Bull Racing. You did the damn thing, girl. And so did Chucko and Max too, but you did the damn thing. And if you're watching this, we salute you. A moment of silence for Daniel Ricciardo, because in addition to him coming in, he came in 13th. And also, there's a lot of people who actually deserve a moment of silence. What was I going to say? Yeah, a lot of people deserve a moment of silence. So, yeah. So the question, should Monaco stay on the track? This is my thoughts. It should be on the track, but I don't think it should be on the F1. It should be a part of the calendar, but it should not be a full race with all the trimmings. It should be kind of like a historical thing where teams get to come in, wherever teams get to come in, you still get to race and you still get to engage, but then it doesn't count for points and it won't count as part of the championship. Look, I like Monaco. It's what you make of it. Generally, there are way more exciting races on this calendar. Hell, even Spain proves us wrong. But at the same time, I agree with a lot of road drivers. It would be sad. You can't let a track like that go because that's a part of the history, and it brings something into it. I'm not even going to consider glamour anymore because we got Singapore and we got Miami. There's your glamour, and soon to be Las Vegas. There's your glamour. But history and what it means to Formula One, you can't give that up so quickly. But I do agree, something's got to give. But I think this should, not having it as a full round in the F1 calendar should be their pound of flesh. That's my thoughts.
That was good. I like that idea, actually. Selim, take us home.
Before I give my opinion, I guess the reward for winning the Monaco Grand Prix could be like extra wind tunnel test time. Because I know that's a big thing
idea.
With the budget cap and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next week we're doing our dream Formula One calendar because I think it would be quite fun. But I think it's also I think Monaco needs to stay on the calendar. I do think they're gonna have to give up some of their luxuries, but I also think Monaco needs to remain on the calendar because if we're gonna have one boring race, I don't think it's Monaco. I don't think anyone's like, oh, Monaco was so boring this year, because that's not what Monaco's about. And I think it's gonna get better with time. We didn't see a dry Monaco race this time. We don't know. We don't know what it could have been like. You know, Pierre Gasly wasn't overtaking those people because they were on different tires. He was overtaking them because the car allows him to. And I think that's going to get better with over time. And so I don't think Monaco is a track that needs to go. There are some tracks that do need to go. Certainly not Monaco. Hey, that rhymed. But yeah, no, I don't want to lose Monaco. I feel like we need one glamour European race. As a French citizen, I think it needs to stay.
Okay, I appreciate that. Anyway, that's pretty much it for our show. I hope you all enjoyed it. Again, because we are on YouTube and I have to keep saying this, please don't forget to like and subscribe, but also please comment. Tell us what we can do better. We're always looking to improve ourselves and we are still new to this business, but we're doing the damn thing. We will see you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And we will see you in 2 weeks for the Azerbaijani Grand Prix.
Woo!
Will it be crazy? Probably.
No, it will.
I
hope so.
To it.
Gosh, I hope so.
Heck yes. We are looking forward to it. And luckily, the biggest supporter of the Azerbaijani Grand Prix will also be back for our show.
Yes.
But until then, we will see you very soon, Pit Crew. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Bye.
Bye.